Hello board gamers of the world, welcome to one more The Curious Box video. I am Pedro Kerouac and I will be talking about abstract games versus thematic games, so stay tuned for one new video. So once again, welcome to one more The Curious Box video. Today we are talking about thematic games versus abstract games. And to start this video, I chose to explain a little bit what I think are thematic games and abstract games. Thematic games, they are more connected to a story. They put you, they take you in a role. As a role, almost a role player, and you follow the story along. The game should make you feel like you are inside a story and not just going for points, even though you can also be going for points. An abstract game, it's totally different. It's you respect some mechanics and some strategies, and you go for points only. Some games, some abstract games, they have like an introduction for a story, but it's just like an introduction, and then they become totally abstract. Some of them, they don't even have a story. So my question is, what do you really look for in a game? Because personally, I like both kinds of games, but I prefer in general I prefer thematic games. Why? Because I have a background of writing movies and so on. So I'm really connected to a deep story, and I like to be absorbed by a game and to feel like I am inside the game. When you're playing an abstract, you can also be inside the game, but it's a different thing. The mechanics have to be really accurate, as in a thematic game, of course, but they have to be really accurate, and they have to sound like really smart, because you don't have a story to support your abstraction or the abstraction of the game. And for example, we can take the example of Azul. Azul was the latest Spiel des Jahres, and it's almost a total abstraction. It has like an introduction of a king, of a Portuguese king who went to Spain. He met the king of Spain, and he was like fascinated by the Alhambra Palace and the azulejos, the tiles in this palace. So he decided to build his Evora Royal Palace the same way. So we are builders that who need to build the best and the fastest wall for the king. Well, this is the beginning of the story, and then it's like almost totally abstract, but the thematics are good and they are smart, and the game is sharp and quick, and quite quick. So it's really a very good game, and I like to play it, and I've been playing it a lot. I'm not saying I don't like abstract games. There are other games, other abstract games I really like. For example, the now famous roll and write games like Clever or Encore. They are really smart games, really quick games. You roll the dice, you choose the spaces to cross, and you get points. And then you get points for colors, and then you get points for numbers, and it's like a 10-15 minutes game. They are 10-15 minutes games, which are really smart. They have some strategy. They are not hard. They are really easy to learn, and they are very portable, and they are totally abstract. Now the question is, do they give me the same kind? They give me the same kind of pleasure that a thematic game gives me? I am not so sure. They are different. They are different kinds of pleasures also, but I'm not sure they give me as much pleasure, as much joy as the thematic game. I take you, for example, Colt Express. Colt Express is an amazing game, a very quick, very sharp game about a train, like a lost train in the Old West, the American Old West, where everybody fights and with punches, with guns, with shots, and it's a total random thing, but not so random, and it really reminds you of the Old West, because the train is there. The components are really nice, and among all the aleatority, there is some strategy, there is some sharpness to it. Colt Express is a very nice game, a very funny game. It's almost like a party game, but it's really, really thematic. The same as Deception. When you take Deception, which is a card game, everyone needs to find who are the killers, the murderers, the murderer and the accomplice before they get they get out with this crime. And it is a bluff game. It has some strategy also, and it is very thematic because you have to assume the role of a character. It's sharp, it's smart again, and I totally recommend it, even though it's not one of my favorite games when it comes to bluffing. You also have, for example, Camel Up. Camel Up is a very, very familiar game. You need to choose camels whom to bet to win a race in the desert. That's all you have to do. But it's really nice because there is the line, there is the track for them to run, there are the camels, there are the bets, there are the coins, they really put you on a race. It's really nice to play, and it's kind of thematic. I am here talking about more familiar games, more gateway games for everyone. I could be talking about War of the Ring, I could be talking about Twilight Struggle. But since not everybody knows these games, I am just talking about more gateway games, for example, like Pandemic. Pandemic, you look at it, it could be total abstract, but it's thematic because it gives you the characters. The different characters with different characteristics. It gives you the viruses and the infections to fight, and it gives you options. And you are not just looking for points. You are going against the epidemics. You are going against the infections, and so on and so on. So these games bring me a lot of joy when I play them, but there are so many abstract games who also give me a lot of joy. Take, for example, Tolkien. Tolkien, it's almost an abstract game. It has some themes, some theme in the beginning, but it's almost totally abstract. You trade things for some things. You buy things. You get points and more points and more points. This is the kind of an Euro game. Euro games, if you don't know a lot about Euro games are games mostly abstract, where you basically look for points, for victory points, and you win according to the victory points you gain during the game. What gives me more pleasure? Tolkien is an amazing game also. What gives me more pleasure? I am more for the thematic games personally because I really like a good story, but I also think there are so many great abstract games. So my questions for you are, what are the best abstract and the best thematic games you've ever played? And do you choose them according to the group or according to the occasion? Or even, why do you choose ones or the others? So these are my 2 cents about abstract and thematic games. I really hope you contribute to the discussion down here in the comment box. Don't forget, today is Day of Reflections of a Tabletop Teacher. I already posted the chapter 1 of this adventure teaching tabletop games to kids only on Facebook, on the Curious Box Facebook. Check it out. And on Friday we have a new video, a new interview with Thomas Pike, the amazing Thomas Pike, who created the game Escape from the Dark Castle. So, Escape the Dark Castle. So, don't forget, on Friday, check it out. If you like this video, don't forget, thumbs up and share it. And if you are new to the channel, you know the drill. Just subscribe it. It's down here, the button. It's very easy. And thank you for visiting the Curious Box. I'll be seeing you soon at a table next to you.